Thank you, Santa. Always what I want. Santa? Alright, thank you, Santa. Oh man, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Home Alone. Fitting.
There's a lot of things to say in defense of this movie, I assure you. But even though this movie is highly praised, I'll be damned if I couldn't find anything wrong with it.
And also, I would be really shocked if some of you out there didn't know the story of this movie. But for that single person out there, here's how it starts.
We start this movie right up in Chicago at the McAllister's family's house, who is having quite the family get-together. Okay, it's just their closest relative who's present, since they all have to go to France to celebrate Christmas with more of their family. But who cares about this now? We have our main protagonist to take care about, Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, who is rather annoyed by this many family members. So the pizza arrives, and did you notice his lousy driving? If you did, and wondered why, then take a look at the sign on the car. Yeah, right? But nevertheless, the movie does everything in its might to make us pity Kevin and his whole situation with his family. So after a major disaster... wait a minute.
You know what? Maybe I should make some sort of, I don't know, gadget device. You know, every time I see a mistake in this movie. Alright everybody, I am back, and take a look at this. Every time I press this button, a mess up sign shows up. So, let's use it for this scene, shall we?
Seeing that his favorite pizza is gone, Kevin gets mad and angry.
Okay, not that angry.
But even though he is not to blame for this, he is the one everybody blames. So he gets sent up to the attic to sleep all alone. Yeah, no joke. And of course, seeing that this is a comedy, they all oversleep and is in a real hurry now.
So much in a hurry that I have to fast forward this tape.
By the way, is that kid a thing in America? You know, that annoying brat that lives on the street that no one really cares about? So they actually just make it in the nick of time, but feels like they forgot something, but can't quite put their finger on what it is.
Or can they?
Kevin!
Oh yes, that's it! You forgot that little jerk!
You little jerk.
What kind of mother am I?
Well, to be fair, you didn't do a very good job in Beetlejuice either. Did you?
Anyway, Kevin, not having the least bit of guilt, who can blame him really, decides to have the most out of his situation.
I made my family disappear.
Day is awesome! Night is scary.
Even though it seems like he has the time of his life, the two bad guys Harry and Marv, played by Joel Pesci and Daniel Stern, wants to rob every house on the street, especially the McAllister's house.
It's very G.
Very G, huh? It's loaded.
But quickly realizing this, Kevin does everything in his might to put an end to their scheme. He does so in a various of ways. First rather simple, but as it progresses, they get more complicated and wild, and downright implausible at the climax in the end. So, meanwhile the bandits robs every house on the street. Why do I do that? Because there's one major flaw that makes this whole movie a lot more stupid. Look at their hands. I don't see any gloves or anything to cover their tracks. This can only mean one thing.
These two buffoons are gonna be captured anyway, due to the fingerprints. Of course, it's a minor mishmash, I know. But the more you think about it, the more it starts to annoy the crap out of you.
We're the wet bandits.
No, you're the subtle bandits. I mean, seriously. Fingerprints, trashing people's homes, chasing a kid on the streets, in a car, and then questions why he run?
I knew he looked at me weird. Why would he run?
Now let me think here. A van with two shady looking guys in it chasing right behind a small kid? Use your fucking brain!
So anyway, when they left Kevin's house the first time, they actually creates one of the better scenes right after. And also extremely weird at the end. Just watch. He screams at the freaking cameraman. I mean, if that's not a fourth wall joke, then I don't know what is. So, now and again we cut back to the family and see what they are up to. And of course, like any other family, they are worried sick, all except for Buzz, who gives us 3 good reasons not
For
to.
3 reasons. A, I'm not that lucky. 2, we have smoke detectors. And D, we live in the most boring street in the United States of America.
I'm sorry, Buzz, but that is just wrong. No. There's no way that D is after number 2. We all know that after 2 comes Giraffe.
And of course, we can't have a Christmas classic without a touching church theme.
Okay, maybe you can. But it's still a good one, right?
Oh, you're always welcome to church.
Maybe you are, but I'm not, I tell you.
Here, Kevin meets the old man Marley, which we heard a lot of bad stuff about earlier in the movie. But as smart as Kevin is, he quickly realizes that this old man is no murderer. In fact, he's just a sweet old man with a kind heart. They have a little chat about family trouble and they agree to do something about it.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have the scene where 8-year-old, mind you, 8-year-old Kevin McAllister creates an array of death traps to stop those pesky thieves.
So at 9 o'clock sharp, the bandits tries to break in, and from here on out it's mainly a mixture of slapstick and here and there some actual clever humor. Okay, maybe not the smartest, but still good enough to make it all enjoyable. So after a parade of death traps, Kevin captures the bandits with a little help from the old man, and are now rather satisfied with himself. All that is missing now is the happy ending where he is reunited with his family.
And might I say, a nice fitting ending for a really great Christmas classic. So, what is it that makes this movie so great, even with all the slapstick humor? Well, first of all, I would say all the small and little details that put in almost every single scene.
Like that scene with Kevin almost getting squashed by the bandit's van. Did you notice it is a Dodge? It's a small but actually good joke the first time you see it. And also the continuity in the movie is just amazing. And to be honest, I never really followed the story too much when I was a kid. But now when I'm older, I have to say that I really admire the small and subtle details John Hughes have put into this movie. What I'm trying to say is that the whole first and second part of the movie is filled with small details that really adds to the last part's believability.
If you think about it, then how in the world can an 8-year-old create all these death traps? And the answer is simple really. Creativity. And to back this up, here's some examples of what I said earlier.
Remember Kevin using the rifle to shoot at the bandits? Well, he used it in an earlier scene. Remember Kevin using a Christmas ornament to place a trap for Marv? Well, he talked with his dad about Christmas ornaments in the early part of the movie. And just one more. Remember the toy car trap? You know, a lot of movies tries to rip this scene off, but tries to be creative and uses something else. Anyway, Kevin's dad tells him that he should put away those micro machines.
This is the Micro Machine Man, presenting the most miniature motorcade of micro machines. Each one has dramatic details, terrific trims, stupendous styling, precision paint jobs, working wheels, micro machine cars of vast variety, including Lamborghini, Trans Am, Corvette, World War IV.
Thank you. Since someone in his family almost tripped on one.
Sure, a few of the scenes are not leading to anywhere. You know, like the carrying bag scene. But I never said this movie was flawless.
Another thing I would point out before we end this review is the camera angles. For some reason they just keep adding to the movie and sort of adapts the same way the movie is. The whole first part where the family is getting ready for the big day tomorrow, the camera just keeps following different people all the time, allowing for so much development in one shot. And at the same time, still give us that high-speed confusion that this whole family have at that given time. And when that part's over, the camera starts to slow down a bit more and let us catch the more slow parts easier. And when it gets more hectic again, add some more angles at a faster pace to make us appreciate the stunts and the whole death trap scene that much more.
I don't think there's anything else to say, and keep watching great movies like this one. And stay away from filthy shit you find at other places. Speaking of. Merry fucking Christmas!